There's a moment in every manager's career that no one ever prepares you for. It's when you realize you're not one of the team anymore, and trying to act like you are is actually making your job harder. I've seen this play out on both sides, as an operator and in HR. And if this transition feels uncomfortable, it's not because you're doing something wrong, it's because this part is actually hard. So let's talk about what happens when you actually become a manager and how to navigate it without losing yourself or your team. Most people step into management because they were good at the work. They were reliable, helpful, maybe even the go-to person. I know that was the case for me. And then suddenly you realize the rules are different. You're still working with the same people, but now you're responsible for decisions, you're setting expectations, and sometimes you're holding people accountable. And then that's usually when the discomfort kicks in. The moment you stop being one of the team isn't when your title changes. It's when your presence starts to change the room. You've probably seen this before. The conversation stops when you walk in. More people ask you if this is okay, or you find out things after the fact. And what I want you to know is that's not rejection, that's responsibility. Now, where I've seen managers struggle is when they try to hold on to the old dynamic. They avoid decisions or soften expectations or even downplay authority. And I see why they try to hold on. They think that if they do this, they won't lose trust with their team. But to be honest, the results just end up being confusing. And what I learned from my own personal experience is my team didn't need me to be one of them. They needed me to show up as the leader and to be clear. So here's some practical steps that you can take to start making the shift from being one of the team to being the one that leads. The first shift is to redefine connection. Connection doesn't come from blending in. It comes from being consistent. So this means to be consistent with what you mean and say, always. The next shift is to be warm, not vague. You can be human and direct at the same time. So what this means is instead of saying, hey, can you take care of that when you get a chance? Simply say, please take care of that before the lunch rush. And the third shift is to accept the uncomfortable feeling. If it feels awkward, you're probably doing it right. And don't let an uncomfortable moment stop you from growing in your role. Becoming a manager doesn't mean that you stop caring. It just means that you care differently now. And if you feel like you're in this in-between phase where you're not fully peer, but you're not fully a leader yet, that's normal. What I want you to know is that this shift takes time, and it doesn't mean that you've lost connection with your team. It just means that your role has changed. The goal isn't to distance yourself from your team. It's to show up in a way that actually helps them succeed. And once you make peace with that shift, management gets a lot less heavy. If you want more real, practical conversations about managing people, that's what I focus on here, so consider subscribing. See you in the next one.